Hey, Moment Makers. Welcome to A Golden Moment. I'm your host, Rebecca Montgomery, and this is the show for women who are done waiting and ready to go for it. Every episode, I sit down with someone who has been in the arena, who hit the wall, found the gold, and came back with something worth sharing. Today's conversation is one I've genuinely been looking forward to. And I think you're going to walk away with something you can actually use. So are you ready? Let's go for it. Dana Compton, dear friend, is the Director of Business Development at Ridgemont Commercial Construction. Yes, she is in construction, ladies, where she spends her days building relationships, creating opportunities, and proving that business is ultimately about people. With more than 2 decades in male-dominated commercial real estate, she has built a reputation as a strategic deal maker who sees possibilities where others see obstacles. But the titles and awards do not define her. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Dana, welcome. We are so glad to have you with us today.
This is so fun. I cannot believe that we're here. As soon as you said you were doing this, I shamelessly came up to you and said, please, please, please have me on there because I just want to come hang out with you.
Yes, I couldn't wait. This is good. So there's a couple of things you and I have in common that we found out over time, which I love. One is that we're both Tarleton State grads.
Go Texans.
Go Texans. I know you've been in a band before. Can you tell us about your band you've been in and play and just share with everyone that experience? I find it so unique.
It was such a defining characteristic of my entire personality for so long because when do you ever find female upright bass players? I mean, ever.
Exactly.
So it was, I was 13 when I started playing, and I was thrown into it. My high school jazz band did not have a bass player, and I had a bass. Randomly, I had a bass at my house.
Why?
I don't even know, honestly. I came from a family of musicians. There was a bass. Nobody played it. It lived under my bed. So I brought it up to the school, and I said, hey, I don't know how to play this. I don't even want to play this, but you can have it, and maybe you can teach somebody to play it. And the band director said, okay, great. So just bring it to jazz band rehearsal next Tuesday, whatever. Okay, I mean, I have it right now, but okay, fine. So I showed up with it, and he sat me down, and he's put Duke Ellington's Tangerine. It's a song, if anyone's a jazz fan, it is an incredibly complicated song. Like, even at my peak of playing at my best, I would have had to kind of think about like, oh, okay, this one's tough. Let me think through this.
And you're 13.
I was 13. I'd never even played the bass. And he said, all right, here we go, and a 1, and a 2. And I was like, no, I think we have a major miscommunication. I do not know how to play this. And he said, well, go figure it out and come back. We rehearse again on Thursday. And I was like, you are out of your mind. I don't want this. This thing hurts my fingers. I don't want to play. But then it kind of became like
challenge.
I mean, now I kind of want to do it because
show him.
He kind of said I couldn't. Like, kind of right. If I say I can't, then I'm being real wimpy here. And but I knew how to play piano, so I went home and I played the song on piano, and then I found the corresponding notes on the bass, and I got decent at this song. And I worked on it nonstop for 48 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I showed up, and I played that song okay. I mean, I'm sure I butchered it. But anyway, he then said, okay, great, now you're in the band. And then he handed me a binder of music. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work. I have to actually like go to school. I can't just sit in front of a piano and figure it out. So then I started
every song figured out.
Teaching myself how to play. Yeah, I had to teach myself how to play it. And that led to a long love affair with the upright bass. I did that for 24 years, and then I retired in 2021.
Why?
My hands gave out.
Okay.
I had played professionally for so long, and I have an illness that affects my skin, and one of the things it does is affects my skin, but specifically the skin on my hands.
Well, since you went there.
Oh, yeah.
Let's stop for a moment and pause. Tell me about the morning you woke up and your world completely changed. Take us back to that day.
So it was November of 2018. I had just turned, at the end of September, 36. And I went to bed feeling great. And I woke up with immense pain in my mouth. Strangest thing. And I've always had canker sores. They've been recurring. I always have like one little canker sore inside my mouth and it heals and maybe 6 months go by and I get another one. And they're so painful. They're microscopic and they're so painful.
They are.
But I opened my mouth in the mirror to see what was going on. It hurt so bad to even try to breathe with my mouth open. And my mouth was full of canker sores. And there were 14 of them in my mouth. And there were some that were, the one on the inside of my left cheek was the size of a quarter. So I just woke up with this and I thought, what in the world is going on? So I called in sick. And where I was in my life at the time is I had just started my dream job, director of business development at Ridgemont Commercial Construction. I'm still there today. Best job I've ever had,
awesome.
For the best people I've ever worked for, no question. I had been there 6 months and I was flying high. I mean, life was absolutely at its pinnacle for me. I was just, everything was just clicking into place.
That's the best feeling.
It's such a good feeling.
Yes.
Everything was
So
just
we strive
wonderful.
for.
We strive for that. I would not have changed a single thing about my life. And I don't know if there are many moments in our life when we can say that I would not have changed a thing. It was absolutely perfect. So I went to my primary care doctor. I didn't have an appointment. I was waiting at the door when they unlocked the door at 8:30. Just standing at the door like, hi, I need in. I am in so much pain. I could hardly speak. And it was just so painful to even just move anything related to my mouth. So I couldn't have a drink of water, nothing. So they worked me in and I went back to the room and my doctor asked all these questions and he said, I need to make a phone call because I've never seen anything like this and I've been doing this for 30 something years. And I said, okay. So he went away and he came back and he said, I called a buddy of mine from med school and he's a maxillofacial surgeon. So he does a lot of work with tissues in the mouth. And he said, we need to do a blood test. I need to look for these certain things in your blood. And I said, okay, that's fine, but what are you gonna do to make this feel better? I don't care, okay, whatever, make it feel better. He was so not concerned with making it feel better. He was more concerned with, this isn't a thing that happens.
What is this?
So something's very, very wrong, right? I wasn't there in my brain. I was more like, no,
make me feel better.
Make it feel better. I don't care where it came from.
I have things to do.
I'm a busy, happy girl, and I do not need
I understand
this.
canker sores, so make this.
I've had it my whole life. Now, not 14 of them, but I've had it my whole life. So he was like, yeah, I'll make it feel better, but we got to get to the bottom of this. And I thought, okay, geez, So I did the blood work, and then he called me the very next day. I guess he pushed it through. He gave me some mouth rinse or something. It didn't do anything, but he called me and he said, it's just like I thought, you have the ANA marker, which is an autoimmune marker.
Okay.
I said, what's autoimmune? So he started giving me examples of autoimmune diseases. And I was like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, okay, it's your immune system. It attacks healthy tissue in your body. And I thought, okay, how weird. So he sent me to a rheumatologist and also didn't know what that was. It was a big learning experience. So he had prepped me. He said, they're not going to have answers for you at this appointment. You're probably going to have to do another bunch of vials of blood. It's kind of like Sherlock Holmes work because there's so much cross-symptomization and all these things. And so it's not going to be like a clear cut. I want you to be prepared. It may take a little while
You're
for
not
you
going
to figure
get
it
this
out.
appointment and get an answer.
No. So I was like, okay, all right, good. Great expectation. I love that. Thank you. So my sweet, precious husband, Jason, said, hey, do you want me to go with you? And I think I got in like 4 or 5 days later. It was pretty quick. And I said, no, I'm not going to find anything out. I'm just going to give a bunch of blood and leave, I guess. Like, that's what I'm prepared for. Okay. So he said, okay. I said, well, come back with me when I have something to talk about.
So you went by yourself.
Went by myself. Yes. And which...
I think that's a tip there. Never go by yourself.
I mean, honestly. But I really wasn't thinking anything would happen. I thought, no, come with me when I've got info. So I sit down and the woman walks in the room. That I will always refer to her as that woman. I don't go to her anymore. She's not great. So she walks in the room, doesn't even look at me, and says, now remember, I'm flying blind. I just today learned what an autoimmune disease even is. I know nothing. I don't even know what I'm doing here. And so she walked in, didn't even look at me, and said, all right, you have something so rare. I can just look at the blood work and see. I don't even need more blood work. I already know what you have. It can't be anything else. It's so specific what you've got. It's called scleroderma, also known as systemic sclerosis. It's extremely rare. It is fatal. It's terminal. And all this time, she's still not looked me in the eye. She's like, it's terminal. I just need you to know that there's one medication out there for it. I will give that to you to try. Only works in about 50% of the patients. If it works, it'll take 90 days to work. We got to keep you alive in that 90 days because you're going to start going downhill really fast.
Oh my gosh.
And if it doesn't work, you absolutely will not see your next birthday, so you need to get your affairs in order.
Oh my gosh.
Literally said it just like that. And
Not even, I don't hear any empathy. This is a medical professional.
Yeah.
A female too.
a woman in her probably late 40s, early 50s, rheumatologist. And I thought, I don't understand. Okay.
Wow.
And so she said, okay, I will give you the medicine. We're gonna put you on it. You need to start it immediately. If it doesn't work, you won't see your next birthday. It only has one side effect. It does cause blindness. And so there's that. So anyway, any questions? And I said, yeah, I have a lot of questions. She said, you're gonna have to make another appointment. Take care. And walked out of the room. And I thought,
okay,
I'm pretty scrappy. And I wanted to follow her and punch her in the face. And just on behalf of not even myself, but any future patient that she does that to, it's just not cool.
No, it's not.
It's
not
really
helpful.
Crappy way to practice medicine. I wasn't even mad for myself. I thought, because immediately I was like, well, obviously I'm going to go find another doctor. Someone who I can, now that I know what I have, I can get started on this medicine, fine. But I've got to go find another doctor who will talk to me. She never once even looked at me. And I thought, what a bizarre. So, okay, a lot of things going through my brain, but the prevailing thing was I need to find another doctor because it sounds like this is very serious, right? So I need to get some things figured out. And that was about 10 in the morning. And I had taken a couple hours off sick leave to go to this doctor's appointment because I thought, I'm going to be there, give all this blood. I'll just work in the afternoon. Yeah. And we just do what we got to do. And so I had a lunch meeting in Dallas at the time I was in a leads group. Now, this appointment was in Fort Worth, and I needed to drive to Dallas. Well, I have to pass my house to go to Dallas. I live in the mid-cities. And so I thought, you know what? I'm not in a state of mind I wasn't freaking out. I was kind of more like, I haven't even remotely processed this, right? Haven't even talked to Jason about this. I've got a lot going on in my brain.
What do I do with this?
What am I going to do with this? Yeah. And so, best case scenario, if this medicine works, I've got 20 years max, and that's best case.
And hopefully you do not lose your eyesight.
And that's a high chance. So if medicine does work and I survive, I'll be, okay, what? So just a lot of craziness in my brain. So I thought, I'm going to have to skip that leads group meeting. I won't even remember anything anybody says, right? So I look up and I'm sitting in the parking lot in Dallas. I drove to the leads group meeting on autopilot. Oh, no. Well, now I'm here and I'm hungry. So I know lunch is inside there.
Right.
So I'm just going to go eat. And then I'm going to head to the house after this.
Slip out.
Sure. Well, it's the clearest example in my life of divine intervention. No question. Because I had no intention of going there. I drove an additional 30 minutes without even realizing it. And I walked in the door and I sat down. And of course, I wasn't going to go into this with them. I have no way to talk about this yet because I don't even have information, right? I just had the absolute worst doctor's appointment in my life. And I sat down and one of them looked at me and said, "What's the matter?" And I had not even cried. I've not even gotten there yet, right? And I said, "Oh, nothing. I've just had a day." Oh, okay. And about 30 seconds later, she said, "No, something's going on. What's going on?" And I think it's women's intuition, right? She wouldn't let up. And I'm really glad she didn't because I finally said, "Okay, fine. I just had this doctor's appointment and I just got this really weird news and I don't have any information. I don't know, but clearly I need to find another doctor." And this girl in my leads group said, "Okay, hold on. What is it called that you have?" And I said, "It's called scleroderma, systemic sclerosis. I don't know." And she said, "Hang on." She sends a text message. She said, "That's what I thought. My best friend is the nation's leading rheumatologist in scleroderma." And I said,
Wow.
where is she? Like, I'm going to have to get on a plane or something. And she said, UT Southwestern. And I said, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, but I know it takes a long time, like a year to get into her, but let me just see. And I was like, and I said, Michelle, I don't have a year. I don't know that I've got 90 days. I don't know. And she said, she texted her again and she said, can you see her tomorrow morning at 8:00? And I said, absolutely. Yes. And she said, she will come in early to meet you. If this thing is divine intervention, I don't know what it is.
You would not have had that appointment the next morning at 8 a.m.
Correct. And do you know what she told me at 8:00 the next morning? I'm so glad you got here because you wouldn't have made it 30 days.
Oh my gosh.
She said, you are on the incorrect medication in the absolute wrong dose. And you would have gone downhill so fast that it would have been hard for us to reverse. And she straightened me out, and she did what any of us should do in any situation when someone desperately needs us to be there for them. She saved my life.
Wow.
There's no question she saved my life.
There's a couple of things you've made me think about. To go back, one of them is what you would tell other women regarding that intuition your friend in this leads group sensed and what she did and how that changed your life.
Yeah.
The trajectory of everything you're talking about.
It did.
What would you tell other women going through a similar situation, or whether being in your shoes or being that person that senses something doesn't seem right?
I have always been a proponent of listening to your intuition. I feel very, very strongly about the idea that your intuition is a message from the other side, whether it's in the form of a spirit guide, whether it's in the form of God, whether it's in the form of whatever it is. There is something telling you, and you have to listen to your intuition. You know when your intuition pipes up and you don't listen, and it rarely works out.
Yes, I think we can all relate to that.
Absolutely.
Why didn't I listen?
I knew something that wasn't going to work out or whatever.
Right.
My spidey senses were going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that spidey senses.
Spidey senses.
I knew something was going on, even if I couldn't put my finger on it at the time.
That's right.
Wow. Well, when I've been around you, I always sense this strength you have, this positive outlook you have, especially with what you've been sharing with us and you're going through. I think we can all relate to someone going through challenges, whether it be our friends or our family members, that we know it cannot be easy.
Yeah.
Would you take us back? Because I know this strength didn't just appear when this diagnosis was given. But can you take us back and tell us, who was little Dana? I feel like there's a lot there that has to do with the woman you are today and the leader and the supporter you are of everyone, especially women. Can you share with us little Dana?
Absolutely. Little Dana was a dreamer.
I love that.
Big time.
Dreamer Dana. Dreamer
All
Dana.
I had was my dreams. We didn't have anything. I grew up in poverty with a single mom who is amazing and my brother who is amazing. And we were extremely poor in rural Alabama. And I always tell people, when you're on the free lunch program in Alabama, you have to be really poor because the whole state is pretty much poor. They would have to pay for every child to have free lunch. It was rough, but I was a dreamer. My brother was a big reader, so I was a big reader. I just wanted to do whatever he did. I didn't care what it was.
I can relate to that.
You know what that's
to what
like.
your brother was doing. I want to do that. Whatever it was.
Whatever, I don't even care.
Whatever he was climbing.
I will watch you play
At the
G.I.
time.
Joes. I don't
Right.
care what it is. Like, yeah, I just want to do whatever. I want to be your shadow.
Yes.
So he was always a big reader. He's brilliant. He has created an amazing career for himself as the #1 trial attorney in Alabama. He's incredible. And has always just been whip smart. Well, I would follow him to the library every day. We would walk to the library.
Perfect.
And we had this little Mayberry upbringing. It was really cute. But we would go to the library. I would check out books. I would read, and I would just dream about all these worlds and all these things I could do with my life and just all the possibilities. And I never knew if it was going to be possible, but I could dream about it. You have to have a desire to do good things and to do big things. And it was just something I always felt was important, was to just have a place I wanted to go.
Does he know this is where some of your drive came from?
I don't
the way
think
he
so.
exposed you to some things because you wanted to follow him?
I don't think he does, but he'll know if this makes it
Yes.
into the episode.
Yes.
And if not, then I'll just tell him. But we're very close still. But little Dana was not a good student. In contrast to my brother, I was a pretty poor student. I didn't figure out until I was 27 years old that I have a severe case of ADHD. I never knew. It would have made such a difference. I always felt like I was stupid because I could not get it. I could not read a paragraph without having to reread it and reread it and reread without having, I don't know what I'm reading. I can't comprehend. I can't, like, what is wrong with me? I think something's wrong with me. It was. And I didn't have a school that had any kind of idea even what ADHD was. It's Alabama public school. Like, they're doing their best. You know, it's okay because I finally figured it out when I was working in my career, and I figured out that I could not get anything done. I couldn't get anything over the finish line. I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? Why has this always been my problem? So finally, I went to the doctor, and I was like, I can't get a single thing done. I think the defining moment there was I was at my desk. This was when I was working in architecture, and I got a phone call, and I answered it, and I was, on my work phone. I answered it, hung up, tried to get back to what I was doing. 15 minutes later, I'm still trying to figure out where my place was and what I was working on. Then the phone rang again. And then 15 minutes later, I'm still trying to get back into what, and I realized I had just worked an 8-hour day. I didn't move the needle forward on one thing today. And I was trying so hard. And I thought, something's not right. I know the material. I know what I'm doing. I know now that I'm a grown woman. I know I'm not a dummy. I know I'm intelligent. So why can't I get anything done? And I went to the doctor, and I ended up going to a psychiatrist, and he ran all these tests on me. And he was like, you're off the charts. Like, you need medication. We have to stop thinking that we are not good at something. It may be a deeper issue.
And it's our fault.
Yeah.
Right. There may be something more to it.
There might be. And if there's not, there's not. But go figure it out.
Right, go
figure it out. Doesn't hurt anything, And so I think that has made a huge difference in my life to address just being able to get something
and that was at
across the finish
26, 27?
27. Yeah. So that was little Dana. I started out my life very soft. I was always the life of the party. I've always been the really funny one. I've always been the one that makes people laugh. And I used to do comedy, and there's an old joke among comedians that is, did you have a happy, wholesome childhood, or are you funny? It's like, which one? Because they usually don't go hand in hand. Like, the funniest people are usually the ones burying
something
and covering it up with lots and lots of laughter. So yeah, I was a little dreamer. I was a little soft dreamer, and then I was the life of the party, and then I became this real hard-hitting, hustling boss babe for so long that I felt like I had to really body slam people into doing what I needed to be done, and I was really like a taskmaster.
Why did you feel that way?
I think I've always been in a male-dominated industry, right? I've been in architecture and construction, commercial real estate. I Forrest Gumped my way into this industry 22 years ago. I have no idea. My first job out of college was for a developer. I was hired by a developer to take 6,000 acres in West Texas and turn it into a community. And I was the only employee.
No pressure.
Not at all, but I never felt. I was like, this is so fun.
How old were you?
21.
Oh, you had not even been diagnosed later with what you found you were
raging unmedicated ADHD.
Sure, I can create a community, a 6,000-acre community.
Bring it. Oh, I had no fear because I didn't know. But fear. I didn't know.
No fear.
So I was like, let's go.
Okay, let's go to that no fear.
Yeah.
What would you share to other young women who are not sure but find themselves in situations like this.
Yeah.
What is some advice you can give? Because you took it and ran with it, but there's so many people that get apprehensive and we
Sure.
get paralyzed.
I think it's important for women, for anyone, to know that you have to go for it. And why not you? Why can't I be the one to turn this into a successful community?
Right.
Why not? And also, huge piece of this is, I will say this until I'm blue in the face, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. I have said, I don't know my whole life to stuff because how am I supposed to get better and do what I'm supposed to do or do what you're asking of me if I'm not even really sure what that even means? What a disservice to myself, to my employer, for me to shy away from saying, I don't know, just because I don't want to look dumb or something, who
It
cares?
seems like there's a lot of younger people that
Yeah.
have been more or less trained.
Yeah.
Do not say, I don't know.
What a terrible
Yes.
proposition. Why?
Because
Nobody knows everything. If you're made to feel less than because you don't just know everything, change it. We have the power to change everything in our life. And I think there is a fallacy that we feel like we can't change it. We
Right.
can't change our circumstances. But you can change everything. With great change can be periods of discomfort.
Absolutely.
Maybe you take a huge pay cut
Right.
and you go work in a job that is more fulfilling. What you have to figure out is what's important to you. If money is not the most important thing to you, if this other one might be enough, but maybe you'll be happier, do that. Pick happiness, because it is a choice that you get to pick every single day.
Pick happiness.
Pick happiness.
I agree. The laughter and the happiness.
Unhappiness is the worst possible scenario, in my opinion.
When you're in that space of unhappiness, to me, it's just like this, there's no drive. You don't want to get up. It's very depressing.
Horrible.
And that just leads down a cycle that can be so hard.
The one thing I've learned, and the one thing that makes me so grateful, and I know this is subversive, so grateful for this terminal illness, is that it showed me that life is precious. And we have to savor every second of every day. We could go tomorrow. We don't know, but we don't live like we could go tomorrow.
No, we don't.
We stress over piddly little things that in the scheme of things don't really matter. And also, stressing about it doesn't help.
Makes it worse.
Overcoming is really, people want to be happy, but can you maybe take us through that journey?
Right. I do think a lot of what you're saying, it is a mental game.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big mental game. For those people, men and women, who may be in that place of despair, like I cannot get out of this. And
Absolutely.
and it's in their head and they can't move forward. Can you describe a time you may have been or be aware of something that difficult to get through, and how'd you do it, and what would you share with someone else?
I think back to that day that I got diagnosed, and here I am. I'm on top of the world. Life is great, and my world actually crashed down all around me. And everything I thought I knew about life and everything I was expecting about, like, growing old with my husband,
Right.
retiring from my job one day, doing all these wonderful things, watching my nieces and nephews grow up.
Right.
All of that, I realized, is not going to happen. And it was not what I expected. You don't wake up and expect to live until 56 and that's it. That's
Right.
not on anybody's bingo card. So it was difficult to process. But I'll tell you, I have to credit Jason for really turning my viewpoint around, because I was encouraged when I left that lunch meeting because I had an appointment with a rheumatologist, and I thought, okay, great.
Right.
But I didn't know what that held. She's the expert. She could have looked at my stuff and said, there's nothing I can do. I don't know.
Right. True.
So I'm driving home. I still haven't talked to Jason. I really need to speak to Jason. And I'm driving home, and he worked from home at the time. He was a remote worker in 2018. And I get home, and I sit him down, and I'm telling him what's happening, and I'm trying to keep it together because now it's starting to become a realization. I sat down, and I could feel that place of despair right in front of me. I was standing in the doorway, and I was so close to stepping through the door and honestly having a complete mental breakdown about it because everything in my life has just changed. I'm now a sick person who's never going to get better.
Right.
That sucks.
There's not a cure.
No, there's no cure. And it just seemed really insurmountable in that moment. And I think I would have been in a deep, deep, deep place of depression if Jason's answer had been any different. If he had freaked out, I would have freaked out. But I said, look, I'm on this medication. It may work, it may not. I've got like a 50-50 chance. If it does work, I've got a really high chance of going blind. And he said, instead of, this is all very unfair, I can't believe this, what in the world, our life has now been turned upside down, I'm gonna lose my wife, like all these things. He said, so if it works, you could go blind. And I said, yeah, it's like, it's just not great. None of it's great. And he said, then we better go see everything you want to see.
Wow.
And he said, where do you want to go? Let's plan it.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
He's the best. It made all the difference in the world. So to answer your question, I had a rough childhood. I've had a tough parts of my adulthood where I have felt very alone, very isolated, difficult times, a lot of times where I felt like I don't know how I'm going to pay my electric bill. Like there's just been some really tough times that I've had to work through, and I know I've had it better than a lot of people. But I've had some struggles, a lot of them. And the way that I have been able to get myself into a place of positivity is by believing in myself. I know I can do this. And I'm basing that on absolutely nothing other than I'm the only one who can get myself out of this situation and get my life back on track. So I have to be the one to do it. And you have to step up for yourself.
That mental space.
You owe it to yourself to step up for yourself and get through it. Whatever it is, you have to get through it because I don't want to sit in that place. I don't know that anybody does.
I agree.
So you really have to dig deep and think, okay, I've always had this viewpoint, and I don't know if it's even true. It's not that I've never had a support system. My mom and my brother have always been there for me, and then now Jason. It's wonderful. But no one else is responsible for me but me. I'm it. Right. I'm all I've got when it comes to that.
Right.
So I have to keep myself in perspective.
So what do you do? How do you do that? What do you tell yourself? And how do you treat yourself to keep that encouragement for yourself?
I think about how magical life is. Even when things are not great, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, things aren't great all the time.
Right.
But you're never going to see me not say, I'm having a really great day. And it's because even when things are kind of in the crapper, life can still be really beautiful because it's magical. Think about the fact that each of us are millions of atoms
right.
standing or sitting on a rock, hurtling through space. And we woke up this morning and our lungs are working. Mm-hmm. We woke up this morning and the sun came back up. And a million things have gone right before our feet even hit the floor. So when you think of it in those terms, life it's really good.
It's really amazing.
It's amazing.
It really is.
It's amazing, even when it's not wonderful.
With miracles that we're able every day.
All day long.
And you have, every day you wake up, that's another day you have.
yes, there's one more chance.
Right.
Because I could die tonight. And it could have nothing to do with my illness. I mean, it's absolutely possible. Any of us could.
Right.
So the fact that we're here, life is for living. So we need to live. We don't need to wallow. We don't need to think about how things could be so much better. You know what? They're great because you're here. And I firmly believe, I don't know anything about whether there's an afterlife or a heaven, or I don't know. I like to think what would be wonderful, but I mean, do any of us actually know? No, we don't. But that said, not knowing what's next for us, we get this one chance.
Right. We're here now.
All we have is now. We don't have someday. We just have today. This is all we've got guaranteed, is that right this second we're breathing. So that to me has always been enough to start to drag me out of any kind of dark place. We have right now. I'm living. So let's go.
I love that. I love that. And anyone listening that may find themselves in that tough space, in that head space, just turn this on and start listening.
Yes. And we are wanted here. I mean,
Right.
think about how hard it is for an egg to become fertilized. I mean, think about this. It's like the most miraculous thing when it happens. We are here. We have already beat every possible odd.
So many odds.
We're here. And we're in a magical world. I'm always inspired by what's going on around me. I love the world. I love this planet. It is just so magical. It's amazing. I mean, the clouds show off for us constantly. And we get to see sunrises and sunsets, and we get to smell rain. And I read something the other day about how amazing this earth is. And it said something like, just think, the ocean turns into rain to go visit its friends and family in the mountains, and then it comes back home. Gosh,
Yes.
we live in the middle of magic.
We do. We do.
So to me, I know I'm not going to pretend like that's enough to overcome mental illness and to overcome depression and things like that. If you feel like you can't dig yourself out of where you are, you need to go get help.
Absolutely. Talk to someone.
Talk to somebody.
Get help.
Why didn't I walk in that room and tell them right away what just happened to me? I've known these women for years. Why did I feel like I couldn't say anything? They had to drag it out of me. You need to feel comfortable doing that.
And there's often a solution for some of the things we're going through. And we don't think to ask. We don't want to say that we feel that there's something wrong. Tomorrow will be better. I'll get through this. I'll drink more water.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be better.
Maybe.
And it's not.
Maybe
Right.
it won't. Maybe
if there's
it will.
something else going on.
Yes. I think it's important to really, really take care of ourselves. You know, we have this body, and if you're healthy, you need to be so cognizant of that and how much of a blessing that is.
But when things start changing,
oh my gosh.
you've
don't even
got
get
to
me
pay
started.
attention.
Don't even get me started.
I know. I did the same thing for years.
Yeah.
I just knew something wasn't right, but it'll get better by tomorrow.
It'll get better. I'm just tired.
I'm tired, and I just need to go work out more.
Yeah, I'm just going to go work out. I think I need to reduce stress.
Yes.
I think I need to do this. I need to do
Then
that.
I'll feel better.
No, you're in menopause, my sister.
Yes.
And it is not fun.
No. And when I finally got the data, had the results in front of me, the doctor I'm talking to is like, how long has this been going on? Oh, probably the last few years. He goes, no, it's been going on a lot longer than that. And
Don't you feel like, what is wrong with me?
Yes. He says, you go to the gym? I said, yeah. He said, how often? I said, every morning. He goes, how? How are you getting up?
Yeah. You're on autopilot at this point.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
You are not living your best life.
No, autopilot.
Self-care.
It's a habit, but I'm not taking care of myself.
You have to take care of yourself.
Yes. I am just as bad about pushing it under the rug. I really think as we get older as women and more things starts happening, we need to be more open with each other. It's okay, and do something about it. Talk to your friend. Talk to someone that's safe.
Go talk to somebody.
Like
and
you
then report them
experienced.
to the medical
Exactly.
board.
Exactly.
I think self-care, it's a buzzword, right? Right now, I feel. And I think there's something to that, though, because we have been in a rat race for so long. And it's not necessary. I think the older I get, the less rat race interested I am. I'm becoming so much softer.
Yes.
Like I was when I was a kid. I want to do my job. I love my job. But I don't want to do my job 12, 14 hours a day.
Right.
I want to do my job and get my job done. I take great pride in that. I have turned into a character in a Bronte novel. Like I just want to read and paint and write poetry and sit on my back porch and stare at the tree and at the birds in the tree. I just want peace.
That's lovely. With this diagnosis that you have, and you've obviously been on this medication, you look great. You look fantastic. You have the best attitude.
Thank you.
We all need to just rub shoulders with people like that. Where do things stand today?
I am doing really well. I respond extremely well to the medication. And I'm in that group of
Wonderful.
people. I'm actually a hyper responder. The 90 days for the medicine to kick in was really tough. I got very, very, very sick. My breathing went down to 30% lung capacity. I had no idea at the end of it if I was going to live or die.
How do you view the future with this?
So my prognosis is we're still looking at 20 years from age 36, best case scenario. But since I'm a hyper responder, that may be longer. I take really, really good care of myself because I want to give this medicine the best chance it has to work. It's the only option I have is this one medication. So I take really good care of myself. I try to make really good decisions. I drink a lot of water. And my gut has told me from the very beginning that I'm going to be here longer than 20 years. I think I'm going to I don't know if there's going to be medical advances. I don't know what it is, but I feel really good about it. And you know what? It's also completely out of my control. So what I do is I just focus on what I have right now. I don't take a second for granted. And I wasn't that way before. It's made a huge difference.
Well, speaking of strength, when we launched this podcast, we talked about our fire horse. So as you get up every day, you wake up and you jump on your fire horse. Just envision, what does she look like?
She's the color of the moon.
Oh, pretty.
The most silvery moon-colored ivory that there is. And she's magical.
Oh, magical.
And the reason she's the color of the moon is because I have always been enamored with the moon and that it's such an influential part of our life, but it does it so quietly.
True.
It's
Good
not
point.
like the sun. The sun's real like, oh my God, I'm right here. Look at me outside. Oh,
Right.
yeah, I will burn you.
Yeah.
Like I will, But the moon is just as impactful on our planet as the sun is.
But it's so much quieter.
So much quieter.
True.
And that to me is just fascinating.
Like magical.
It's magical.
So what is the name of your fire horse?
Luna.
Of course it is.
Isn't it?
You riding her.
Yeah,
Dana on Miss Luna.
that's it.
I love that.
Dana and Luna riding off into the moonlight.
I love that. Okay, one more question for you. What is the one thing you want every woman listening to walk away with?
Live like tomorrow's your last day. Say the things that need to be said. Tell the people you love them. And don't take it for granted. If you wake up tomorrow, be in a positive mindset because things are already going really well.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you, Dana, so much for being here and sharing with us and being very vulnerable, sharing what's going on in your life because I think a lot of people can relate.
Remember, we're on this magical planet together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having
Thank
you
you
back.
for having me.
You have to give us updates.
I will come back anytime.
Okay.
I
Wonderful.
love you.
Love you. Thank you, sister. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Moment makers, thank you for spending part of your day with us. I hope today's conversation gave you something. A nudge, a reframe, a strategy, that golden nugget that you needed. Or Just the reminder that you are not alone in this. If this episode meant something, share it, leave a review. Hit that button to subscribe below so the next one finds you. And if there's a woman in your life who needs a little nudge today, or needs to name her horse, send this to her. New episodes drop every other Tuesday. You are enough. The world needs you fully in it. Now go for it. I'm Rebecca Montgomery. This has been A Golden Moment. See you next time, Moment Makers.